word advice?
Yeah, I've got all my best men on standby.
Okay, that just leaves us with a few logistics to deal with.
Sounds like we're pretty well covered.
Yeah, just about. By the end of the day, the only people getting lessons will be Hannibal and Irving. A brief course in why crime doesn't pay.
Good morning.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Holly.
Hard at it, are you?
Well, we're just going over the Hannibal case.
Yeah, reviewing a few facts.
Such as?
I've come up with a surefire way to nail both Hannibal and Irving.
Oh, you have you? And what's that?
Well, there's no need to go into it all with you.
I am part of this,
I know
remember?
that. I know that, love. But the thing is that a lot of this is just police work.
And what does the civilian get to do?
We want you to nail both Hannibal... correction. We want you to set up both Hannibal and Irving.
Right. Good. What I'm going to do...
And after that, well, police will move in and take over.
Take over?
It'll be over before you know it.
Wait, just a minute. I'd like to ask you why.
Look, love, please, look, my head's full of thoughts at the moment. I've got to work out a few things with Bert. As soon as I've done that, then I'll sit down and tell you exactly what I want you to do. All right?
Well, that was certainly quick and to the point, huh?
I think they'd make these things more difficult.
Oh, come on, Celia, cheer up. At least the hearing is over.
Yes, and now we're officially Mr. and Mrs. Grant Andrews.
Mr. and Mrs. Grant Andrews, you bet. Has a nice ring to it, wouldn't you say?
It's all right.
Celia, it's easy to spell, it's easy to remember. All in all, it's not a bad name.
Grant, how can you be so cheerful about this?
Darling, it's a name, that's all.
No, it was Putnam.
Yes, but Putnam wasn't my name.
Neither is Andrews.
It is now. There's nothing wrong with it.
But it just doesn't feel like mine.
Well, give it some time, you'll get used to it.
I don't know.
Look, Celia, you don't really have any choice. You know very well I could no longer be Grant Putnam. I am now Grant Andrews, and that's all there is to it.
After extensive evaluation of my notes, I still cannot help but be drawn to the same conclusion. I am certain Grant Putnam is hiding something. My only hope in discovering what he's hiding is to find some way to break down his very solid defenses. I think perhaps I have a way of doing that.
What do you mean we may not have enough proof against them?
All I'm saying is that we should consider that.
Hannibal took my money for dancing lessons, promising me an audition for a Broadway show. Then he demanded another $500, saying Irving needed it to guarantee the audition. It's a scam, Robert.
Holly, the problem is even with all the evidence we have, scam cases are always the hardest to prove.
I'll testify against them.
Your word against theirs.
Isn't my word good enough?
It's not enough.
Why?
You got your dancing lessons, didn't you?
Not all of them.
Hannibal would say you did.
Well, what about the bribe?
We have no proof that you're not just another disgruntled customer out to get him.
What about the other 19 girls they ripped off? They'll testify.
I doubt it.
Why?
Because they won't want to admit they were taken in the first place. 50% of them will be too embarrassed, and the other 50% will be too scared to testify.
No, they want to band together to get Hannibal.
Look, I can't take the chance on building a case around 19 girls who may or may not decide to act.
But just one moment.
Look, I thought this all the way through, Holly, and I've come up with what I consider to be a surefire way to get Hannibal and Irving.
You have? Or all alone?
Well, actually what I need from them is a confession, preferably on tape. If I can do that, I've got him.
Can I do anything to help?
Aren't you supposed to call up Hannibal to find out what time the bus leaves for New York?
Yes, I do remember something like that, yes.
Right, why don't you sit down? Bert, you get the phone, please?
Yeah.
Well, you sit down and call him. You talk to Hannibal. As soon as you've spoken to him, well, then you talk to me.
Well, that makes sense. Would you like to find out where the bus is leaving from as well?
Of course.
And once that bus takes off, we'll arrange to have it stopped.
Yeah, you'll jump into a cab and go straight back to the studio.
That's when I get Hannibal to admit to the scam.
That's when you'll buzz your buzzer.
Why?
Because the men I have staked out around the place will then move in.
Just a minute,
Now,
Robert.
look, it won't be easy to get Hannibal to own up to this scam. But if you can't, don't feel bad about it.
I'm sure I can.
I've made tougher customers than these two talk before, and I intend to get them. But as long as you're going to be there, I guess it's worth a try.
That is the least of my worries.
There's no reason to be concerned about your safety.
Oh, that's not it either.
Look, Holly, I'm sorry. There's no time to argue about this. I fully realize you're full of good suggestions and all, but I have all the bases covered. All right? So, could you please just make your call?
Well, would you like to dial it, or do you think I can manage it alone?
Just make the call, love.
Hannibal Dance Studio.
Yes, Mr. Hannibal, it's Margaret McTavish.
Oh, Margaret. Ready for the big day?
Yes, I'm so excited. I could hardly sleep last night.
Oh. Glad to hear it.
What?
It's the sign of a pro. If you weren't nervous, I would be nervous, darling.
Oh, well, I feel better now then. I think I'm going to look a wreck, though.
Well, catch up on your sleep on the bus. That's how we do it in this business.
Oh, okay. What time does the bus leave?
12:30 from 2nd and Grand. But I've asked all the girls to meet me at the studio at noon.
Okay. I'll be there.
Don't forget, bus leaves at 12:30, studio at noon.
Got it.
So? Well?
We're to meet at the studio at 2, and then the bus leaves from 2nd and Grand at 2:30.
That's perfect. Gives us plenty of time to stake out the place.
Okay, don't forget to buzz your buzzer as soon as you get to the studio. Oh, that should be about what, Bird? You reckon 2:45?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Sounds right.
Where are you going?
Oh, just going to run a few errands.
Well, don't be late getting back. Timing is rather critical here.
Where are you going?
Out.
I thought we were going to spend the morning together, seeing as we don't have to be in till later.
Sorry.
What could be more entertaining than spending a little bit of extra time with your loving husband?
Spending some time with my hairdresser.
Oh, what am I supposed to do?
Why don't you ask Frick and Frack if they have any suggestions?
About what?
How you can entertain your son while I'm away.
Yeah, I have much more important things on my mind.
Oh, let me guess. Making money or losing money?
Losing it with all the time Jimmy Lee wastes being here.
Edward, I'm telling you, I keep charging you for cost, not even labor.
Well, time costs money. All the time you spend up there puttering around in the East Wing could be better spent making money for Holt Quartermaine.
Just a minute. There are things that need to be fixed up there. I want them fixed.
You see, Monica's a perfectionist, Edward.
Well, that's not the point, is it?
You know, Jimmy Lee, you do work for my father.
We work together, yeah.
Since when did you get so solicitous about me, Alan? I can fight my own battles.
I know that. I don't know why everybody's having such a hassle over minor imperfections.
Well, you're right.
You're not right. Neither one of you. I want everything to be perfect for Mrs. Allison's visit.
Well, why make such a big deal out of it?
Because she wants her to have the best, Edward. Right?
Thank you very much. Glad somebody understands, yes. She's my relative, and I want everything to be perfect. I want to make a good impression on her.
Well, don't worry about it. You're turning this house into the best hotel in Port Charles.
This is the first relative of mine that has ever been in this house.
Well, once is once too much.
You know Father doesn't like strangers in the house.
Yeah, Alan, I told you I could fight my own battles. You know I don't like strangers in this house.
She is not a stranger. She is my cousin.
But, you know, you say that as if it was supposed to mean something.
It does.
How do you know you're even going to like this supposed relative of yours? Good Lord, we certainly don't like ours.
Well, she isn't a Quartermaine. I'm sure I'll like her.
Look, at least when you deal with the Quartermaines, you know what it is you're letting yourself in for. Who knows what this Mrs. Allison wants?
Maybe, just by chance, Edward, all she wants is to meet me and get to know me.
And then what?
And then what? What are you guys doing anyway? What are you trying to do? Make me feel bad about Mrs. Allison?
Look, I think I'm going to go upstairs and check on the work, huh?
Why don't you go with him, Monica?
I've seen it. Goodbye, Jimmy Lee.
Goodbye.
Look, let's just drop it, will you? Have a nice time at the hairdresser.
Just you wait 1 minute. Now, what is the switch for? What is going on?
Nothing.
No. Don't give me the wide-eyed, innocent look. That always means trouble. Now, what are you two brewing?
Honestly, Monica, you know, all this spy business is just making you paranoid.
Oh, no, Edward, not paranoid. Suspicious. I've learned it from the years of living with you two. Now, what's going on?
Celia, would you like to run over to the DMV before I go to work?
What for?
I just thought that we could change the names on our driver's licenses.
No, I'm not sure I feel up to that right now.
We're going to have to do it sooner or later.
I know. Change the driver's license, change the credit cards, change my library card, change the Social Security card. I know.
Oh, damn. There goes the monogrammed underwear.
Grant.
Come on, darling. Don't take it so hard. It's a name.
I can't help it.
Look, I've changed my name. I haven't changed me or the way that I feel about you.
I know. And I love you, too. It's just...
Just what?
It's just that losing the name Putnam feels so final somehow.
Hmm? Final in what way?
We had so many memories as Putnams.
So we'll just have to get new memories with our new name.
But when I was Mrs. Grant Putnam, I felt connected to something.
Connected to what?
I don't know, a past that I was a part of.
Well, that past was a mixed bag, Celia. It wasn't all good.
No, but it was mine. I lived it.
I still think that you're blowing this whole thing out of proportion. We're still Grant and Celia, aren't we?
Yes. Grant, it's just how I feel. This name change is just confirmation that...
That I lied to you?
You did what you had to do. I don't blame you for that.
Well, thanks. That makes me feel so much better.
Grant, if my sharing my feelings with you is so upsetting, then maybe you'd better just go off to work.
I already told them that I was going to be late. But maybe you're right. Maybe I will go off to work because it's become very apparent that you'd be a hell of a lot happier if I didn't hang around here right now.
Grant, I'd be a hell of... Hello?
It's Dr. Campbell, Mrs. Putnam.
Yes, no, I know. It's Andrews now. We've had it officially changed this morning.
Excuse me. I was wondering if I could stop by later, but perhaps it's not a good time.
It's not a social visit, I gather.
Well, the fact is I have some rather important questions to ask you.
Something you can't take care of by phone?
Well, better in person. I won't take long, and I'd really appreciate it.
All right, if it's that important, of course.
It is, very much so. Well, till then.
I'm waiting.
Honestly, Monica, you know, when everything's topsy-turvy around here, you complain that you get no peace. When everything is going smooth as silk, you're sure something is going on.
And so far, I'm batting 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Well, consider this your first strikeout.
What are you so quiet about?
What's to say?
You tell me.
Monica, if I had something to tell you, I'd tell you.
Not if you've already bungled whatever it is.
You know I resent that.
Well, the truth hurts.
Monica, did it ever enter your head that maybe I'm trying to protect you?
Aha.
Nice work, Alan.
Oh, listen, she would have found out sooner or later anyway.
Yes, and in the meantime, made both of your lives miserable.
Yeah, miserable as opposed to what?
So who wants to go first?
You blew it, Alan. You tell her.
Look, first thing I want you to understand, Monica, is that Father and I sympathize with you in your need to know your family, all right?
Does this have anything to do with Mrs. Allison?
We had her checked out.
You what?
Well, there was no harm in trying to figure out if she was some kind of a con artist who was out to get our money.
Just one moment. If either one of you did anything to insult
Look,
that
Monica,
woman,
we had her investigated.
investigated.
Now, before you blow your stack, Monica, I think you should know we found out some very interesting information.
Oh, it better be earth-shattering.
It's close. Does the name Lorena Sharp mean something to you?
Of course she does. She's the head of that Avalon Health Spa.
Yeah, you realize that we're dropping a bundle into that spa they're building here in Port Charles.
So?
So, Lorena Sharp and Mrs. Allison are one and the same.
What are you talking about?
I don't know how to make it any plainer.
We were as shaken as you are, Monica, when we found out last week.
Last week? You found out last week? Why didn't you tell me?
We weren't sure that it meant anything.
Well, we didn't want to drag you into it until we figured out what her angle was.
If that woman has any angles whatsoever, I'm the one who's going to be figuring them out.
I don't think you're in any position to do that objectively, Monica.
Why not?
Because you think she's your cousin.
She is my cousin.
You have no proof of that.
For all you know, she may be playing on your vulnerability to family in order to bilk you into investing in that spa.
She is my cousin, and she wouldn't do that.
Well, what if she isn't?
She is, and I'm not going to discuss it anymore.
Oh, be reasonable, Monica.
Monica, reasonable? Surely you're jesting.
Hi.
Hi. You're here for those sketches? They're not done yet.
What sketches?
The ones for the Avalon Spa lobby.
Oh, no. I just dropped by to say hi.
Oh. Well, do you want some coffee?
No, I'm tense enough from being up at the main house.
Well, it's not very relaxing here, I'm afraid.
How'd the hearing go?
It went. It's over. I have a new name. So what?
No big deal, huh?
That's right.
So how does it feel to be, Mrs. Andrews?
I felt like a Putnam.
How does being a Putnam feel like?
It felt like a real person. Like somebody with a past. Now nothing feels real, even my name. I don't know who I am anymore.
Come on, Celia. You're the same wonderful, intelligent, beautiful, lovely lady you've always been.
Thanks, Jimmy Lee.
Come on, changing your name doesn't mean that it changes anything else. It doesn't change who you are. I'll bet you that in no time at all, the name Putnam won't mean anything to you.
I doubt it.
Okay. I'll tell you what. How about going to a movie? Probably take your mind off the whole thing.
No, I can't. I'm expecting company.
In that case, I better go.
Jimmy Lee, thank you, though. You've been a real friend.
That's one thing you can be sure won't change. See you. Ooh. Thank you. Bye.
And I better get back to headquarters and arrange the stakeout on the studio.
Okay. Don't get your men there too early. We don't want to take a chance of them being seen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We won't move in until the last minute.
Now, Hannibal and Irving won't have collected all the money yet. Some of the girls probably won't bring it in till after 2.
Well, that's good. It gives us plenty of time for the setup. Remember, Robert, it'll take Holly at least a half an hour once she gets off that bus to get back to the dance studio.
Okay. Make sure there's someone covering that bus.
All right, I'll put a squad car to patrol 2nd and Grand.
Make that an unmarked. We know what Irving's nose is like where the police are concerned.
Yeah, we'll do.
Now we got Vice, front and rear at the studio, patrol car on the same street as the bus and one following it.
Uh-huh. Well, it seems like we're well covered, not to mention the ever-alert Bert Ramsey at the ready.
Hey, now I'm relieved.
Listen, we've got this thing so well covered with so much manpower, there's nothing to worry about as far as Holly being in any danger.
Okay.
But I'm nervous. Shouldn't we be getting on the bus, Mr. Hannibal?
We're waiting for Melissa.
I don't know why we have to wait just because she's late. Well, I'm sure she has a good reason.
Look, it's 5 after 12. If she's not here in 2 minutes, we'll all leave.
Okay, well, I hope she doesn't miss it. I've been waiting for so long for this.
Have you got everything? All right, so everyone is... Melissa, this is most unprofessional.
I know, but I had a really hard time coming up with the rest of the money.
But you have?
Here it is.
Another minute, and you would have missed your chance of a lifetime.
All right, girls, let's go.
Oh, only tomorrow.
No dilly-dallying. We're late enough as it is. I know the bus will be at the corner waiting to take you to the Hotel Royale in New York City.
The Hotel Royale sounds so glamorous.
Keep moving. Hurry up. Come on. Keep moving.
Thank you. Aren't you going to come too?
Irving and I have a little work to catch up on. We're going to drive down later in our car.
But how will we know what to do?
There's nothing to worry about. We'll meet you at the hotel this evening and give you all the information you need about your auditions tomorrow.
Of course, your jobs are already assured. This time tomorrow, you'll be working on Broadway. Go on now. And we'll be working on our sunny tans in Mexico.
Ole.
Arriba.
Everybody listen to me. Come on, we're going to be late. David! Oh, wait. Listen, this is really important. I'm just trying to help you. The bus is going nowhere. Oh, the bus. Oh, I'm on my way to Broadway. You don't listen to me. Wait a minute.
Come on. What are you pulling, Margaret?
My name isn't Margaret, it's Holly.
Holly?
What? Irving and Hannibal are the ones who are up to something. If you don't listen to me, they're going to get away with it. What are you talking about? There's a empty room in there. If we could just go in there, I could talk to you. Just listen, we'll miss the bus. 2 minutes, okay? Just give me 2 minutes. If you want to get on the bus after you hear what I have to say, then go ahead, fine. But I guarantee you won't.
Give me a good reason why I should listen to you.
Yeah, right. Your money.
Hey, that's good enough for me. Listen, lead on.
Okay, it's just in here. Hurry.
Gotta make the bus. It's been so
Maybe
long.
we'll be late.
I don't want to miss it now.
Really,
I appreciate your seeing me, Mrs. Andrews.
Well, you said it was important.
Yes, I want to ask you some more questions about Grant.
I really think we've covered it all.
Well, I've been through my notes and something bothers me.
What's that?
Oh, certain discrepancies.
Such as?
Well, I'm not quite sure. Call it my intuition, perhaps.
I don't follow.
Well, in all my meetings with Grant, there's still something about him I just can't fathom.
Well, I'm sure you can't expect to know everything about someone.
Ah, but some things are vital.
Like what?
Well, many factors go into the makeup of a personality. Now, whatever it is I'm missing about Grant could be the key to my analysis of his case. Without it, my book is incomplete.
I really feel like I told you everything I know.
Let's go back and see if there's something we've missed. Now, how well did you know Grant before he disappeared?
We grew up together.
How close were you to him?
You really need to know everything?
Please.
Grant was my first lover.
I see. Well, how long did the relationship last?
Not very long. He went off to medical school in Europe, and then the relationship just sort of fizzled out. And that is until I saw him again in Europe. No, when I met my Grant again in Europe.
I see. What made the relationship end?
I really don't know. He was charming and wonderful in his own way. Nothing like Ian, of course.
Do people often do that?
Do what?
Defer to Ian when they're talking about Grant. I noticed that you've done it before.
Oh, habit, I suppose. People just naturally thought that Ian was the preferred brother.
I see. Do you think Grant was aware of this constant comparison?
He probably was. He was always very sensitive. Maybe that could account for his guilt over the accident.
How so?
Just simply that he wanted to help, and he was too far away to be able to reach him.
Yes. It's a long time ago.
Yes, they were just in their early teens when this happened.
Strange that he should still feel guilty after all these years.
Well, as I said, Grant was very sensitive.
Yes, I must remember to talk to him about that when I see him. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, I'm not quite sure that I gave you anything new.
Oh, perhaps you have, Mrs. Andrews. Perhaps you have.